Imagine you quit sugar today, expecting instant clarity, lighter moods, and effortless, steady energy inside. Instead, the first mornings feel harsher: headaches, irritability, and a gray film over your thoughts. That misery is not character failure. It is your brain's circuitry reacting to sudden silence. Sugar behaves like a rapid neurological messenger, not just calories drifting through your bloodstream. When it arrives, dopamine surges in reward pathways built for scarcity, not modern perpetual sweetness. The nucleus accumbens, your ancient craving engine, tags sugar as survival triumph worth repeating again. A PubMed neuroscience study showed sugar binging repeatedly releases dopamine in accumbens regions, day after day. With repetition, the brain protects itself by dampening receptor sensitivity, a process called downregulation. Now, remove sugar, and dopamine drops while receptors remain dulled, creating a painful biological mismatch. This is why days 3 to 5 can feel like punishment rather than progress toward health. But what if the headache is actually a repair signal, not a warning siren at all? NIH-hosted reviews describe addiction-like adaptations where prolonged sucrose changes, accumbens dopamine, responsiveness over time. Your brain is not grieving dessert. It is recalibrating thresholds for motivation, pleasure, and effort. The irritability comes from limbic alarms misreading chemical quiet as danger, scarcity, and impending loss. Brain fog arrives because neuroplasticity costs fuel. Rewiring requires resources before it rewards you. Here's the counterintuitive twist. High refined sugar diets can suppress BDNF, a learning-supporting growth factor. A PubMed study found refined sugar diets reduced hippocampal BDNF and impaired learning in animals. BDNF is like a quiet librarian, keeping synapses organized, memories indexed, and attention retrievable. When sugar retreats, BDNF can rebound, but rebuilding networks feels messy before it feels sharp. Around day 7, many people notice calmer focus as receptors begin upregulating their sensitivity again. In that quiet, cravings arrive like phantom limbs, proving how deeply reward memories were engraved today. Harvard notes high blood glucose can affect brain connectivity, so stability matters beyond willpower alone. Motivation returns differently, less like fireworks, more like a steady lamp you control consciously. So ask yourself, are you craving sugar, or are you craving dopamine relief from discomfort? If you stay the course, your reward system relearns pleasure without spikes and crashes daily. The frightening truth is sugar never truly energized you. It merely drowned fatigue in noise. 30 days begins with withdrawal, but it can end with your brain's signal-to-noise restored. Now, shift your attention downward, away from thoughts, toward the quiet chemistry inside your abdomen. You may look lean in mirrors, yet something heavier could be forming beneath that visual reassurance. This condition has a name clinicians quietly fear: TOFI, thin outside, fat inside. At the center of this story stands the liver, your most overworked metabolic guardian. The liver alone must process fructose, a sugar evolution never expected in constant abundance. When fructose floods in, the liver cannot store it like glucose safely. Instead, it converts excess fructose into fat through a pathway called de Novo lipogenesis. Think of this as an emergency factory, never designed to run without shutdowns. Harvard researchers have shown this pathway accelerates fat accumulation directly within liver tissue. Over time, fat droplets infiltrate liver cells, distorting structure while symptoms remain deceptively silent. This is how non-alcoholic fatty liver disease advances unnoticed for years. Here comes the unsettling paradox most people resist believing. Exercise alone cannot outrun a liver constantly manufacturing fat from sugar. Movement burns calories, but fructose feeds the factory regardless of treadmill devotion. Now remove sugar, especially fructose, and something extraordinary begins quietly. You are not burning fat yet. You are starving the factory of raw materials. Insulin levels fall, and the liver receives a radically different hormonal instruction. Instead of storing energy, it must release and burn its accumulated reserves. Stanford metabolic studies show reduced insulin shifts the liver toward fat oxidation rapidly. This is the strange moment where eating more healthy fats cleans fat from the liver. The body enters a mild ketogenic state, prioritizing survival efficiency over storage abundance. Here is the frightening truth hidden behind normal blood tests. Fatty liver often progresses without pain, warnings, or noticeable digestive distress. Many discover damage only after fibrosis begins replacing flexible liver tissue permanently. But here lies the hopeful counterforce written into human biology. The liver possesses unmatched regenerative capacity compared with nearly all other organs. Clinical observations from Mayo Clinic show liver fat can reduce significantly within weeks of dietary change. Within 30 days, enzymes like ALT and AST often trend downward quietly. Visceral fat surrounding the liver begins dissolving, repurposed as fuel for cellular survival. This is not detox mythology, it is metabolic mathematics balancing itself again. So ask yourself gently, without judgment or fear. If your liver could speak, would it beg for supplements or simply for silence? Now the story moves to an organ that almost never complains until irreversible damage already occurred. Your kidneys work constantly, filtering blood through millions of nephrons, silently protecting internal equilibrium every minute. Many people watching experience morning facial swelling, ankle puffiness, or frequent nighttime urination without explanation. These are not random inconveniences. They are pressure signals from a filtration system under metabolic strain. Chronically elevated blood sugar damages microscopic blood vessels inside the kidney's delicate filtering units. According to the National Institutes of Health, hyperglycemia is the leading driver of diabetic nephropathy worldwide. Each nephron is a fragile gatekeeper, never designed for relentless glucose-induced oxidative stress exposure. Here is the frightening biological asymmetry most people misunderstand. Kidneys contain almost no pain receptors, so injury progresses quietly, without warning sensations. By the time symptoms appear, up to 70% of kidney function may already be lost. But here comes the first unexpected shift during sugar withdrawal. In the first week, rapid weight loss occurs, mostly from water, not fat tissue. This surprises many, yet it carries profound physiological meaning. High insulin levels force kidneys to retain sodium, dragging water into tissues continuously. When sugar disappears, insulin drops, and the kidneys finally receive permission to release pressure. They begin excreting excess sodium and water, reducing swelling and blood volume gently. This increased urination is not dehydration. It is decompression of a stressed filtration system. Stanford physiology research shows insulin reduction directly alters renal sodium handling mechanisms. But here is the counterintuitive discomfort many misinterpret dangerously. During early withdrawal, uric acid levels can fluctuate temporarily as filtration dynamics shift. Fructose uniquely increases uric acid production, according to NIH metabolic studies. This links sugar consumption directly to gout risk and kidney stone formation. When sugar stops, uric acid production declines, but clearance temporarily competes with ketones. This is why hydration during early sugar withdrawal becomes biologically non-negotiable. Over several weeks, glomerular pressure normalizes, improving long-term filtration efficiency measurably. Kidneys are not celebrating loudly, but they are working with less resistance finally. So pause and consider this uncomfortable question honestly. If your kidneys could speak, would they warn you loudly or simply fail quietly? Now attention shifts to the organ you fear most, yet may misunderstand almost completely. For decades, fat and cholesterol were framed as villains threatening your cardiovascular destiny. Sugar, meanwhile, passed quietly through conversations, plates, and arteries without serious suspicion. Here is the biological reality modern cardiology increasingly acknowledges. Excess sugar damages blood vessels before cholesterol ever enters the picture. When glucose remains elevated, it binds to proteins through a process called glycation. These sugar-protein complexes stiffen tissues and scar the inner lining of arteries. Imagine microscopic glass shards scraping the endothelium with every circulating pulse. This endothelial layer regulates blood flow, inflammation, and clot prevention continuously. When injured, it triggers chronic inflammation as a defensive response. Cholesterol then arrives not as an attacker, but as emergency repair material. This is the paradox most people never hear explained clearly. Cholesterol often responds to damage. It does not initiate vascular injury itself. According to research summarized by the American Heart Association, endothelial dysfunction predicts cardiovascular risk strongly. Sugar worsens this dysfunction by suppressing nitric oxide production inside blood vessels. Nitric oxide is a signaling gas that allows arteries to relax and dilate smoothly. Without it, vessels become rigid, narrow, and pressure rises silently. This is why blood pressure can drop surprisingly after sugar removal alone. Here comes the twist that feels almost unfair. You may feel tired, not from low energy, but from oxygen delivery impairment. Inflamed, constricted vessels force the heart to pump harder for the same outcome. When sugar disappears, inflammation recedes, and vascular tone gradually normalizes. Blood flows with less turbulence, friction, and mechanical resistance. Another quiet transformation unfolds at the molecular cholesterol level. LDL particles shift from small, dense, dangerous forms toward larger, buoyant structures. This pattern change reduces oxidation risk and arterial wall penetration significantly. The heart does not celebrate dramatically, but workload decreases with every beat. So consider this carefully before blaming fat again. Was your heart failing from excess fuel or from constant inflammatory assault disguised as sweetness? Now, the consequences of sugar finally surface somewhere you cannot ignore or rationalize away. Your skin, the largest and most visible organ, records metabolic history with ruthless honesty. Many people invest heavily in creams, serums, and procedures, yet aging still accelerates mysteriously. The reason often hides in daily blood sugar chemistry, not cosmetic deficiencies. When sugar circulates excessively, it binds to structural proteins through a reaction called glycation. This process forms advanced glycation end products, commonly known as AGEs. AGEs behave like molecular glue, stiffening tissues that were designed to remain flexible. Collagen and elastin are prime targets because they turn over slowly once damaged. Imagine rubber bands left under harsh sunlight, gradually losing stretch and snapping easily. This is exactly how glycation alters skin architecture at the microscopic level. According to research reviewed by the National Institutes of Health, AGEs accelerate visible aging significantly. Wrinkles deepen, not from time alone, but from sugar locking collagen fibers irreversibly together. Skin loses elasticity, hydration balance, and repair capacity long before surface symptoms appear. But wrinkles are not the only signal sugar leaves behind. Acne persistence in adults often traces back to insulin and IGF-1 overactivation. High sugar intake spikes insulin-like growth factor 1, stimulating sebaceous glands excessively. This creates an oil-rich environment where acne-causing bacteria thrive comfortably. Removing sugar reduces IGF-1 signaling, starving acne of its biochemical support system. Here comes the counterintuitive visual paradox many experience after several weeks. Skin initially looks duller as inflammation drains and puffiness recedes. Then clarity emerges, not from shine, but from reduced internal oxidative stress. Dermatology research from Harvard-affiliated hospitals links glycemic load directly to acne severity. This is not about beauty standards, it is about inflammatory signaling pathways. When sugar disappears, inflammatory messengers quiet across skin tissue networks gradually. Collagen synthesis resumes under calmer conditions, protected from constant glycation assault. Dark circles fade as microvascular inflammation reduces beneath thin periorbital skin. The so-called sugar face slowly deflates, revealing sharper contours and brighter tone. This change is not cosmetic magic. It is biochemical relief becoming visible. So pause and ask yourself something deeper than appearance alone. If sugar ages skin externally, what does it quietly age inside simultaneously? Now we arrive at the most exhausted worker in your metabolic system. Your pancreas has spent decades responding faithfully to every sugar-driven emergency call. Each spike demanded insulin, and insulin was delivered without complaint, day after relentless day. Over time, this constant demand strains pancreatic beta cells beyond their evolutionary design limits. This slow exhaustion is known clinically as beta cell burnout. It is one of the central pathways leading toward type 2 diabetes. Here is the frightening part rarely emphasized clearly enough. Beta cells do not regenerate easily once function declines significantly. Damage accumulates quietly until glucose control collapses seemingly overnight. But here comes the counterintuitive intervention hidden in plain sight. Rest, not stimulation, is the pancreas's most powerful medicine. When sugar intake stops, insulin demand drops almost immediately. This gives beta cells space to recover sensitivity and signaling efficiency. Studies summarized by the National Institutes of Health show insulin sensitivity can improve rapidly with dietary sugar reduction. This is metabolic flexibility reawakening after years of forced rigidity. However, this is where responsibility and caution become non-negotiable. For individuals using insulin or glucose-lowering medications, sudden sugar removal can be dangerous. Hypoglycemia can occur when medication doses exceed new dietary glucose availability. This is not a theoretical risk. It is a documented clinical reality. The Mayo Clinic warns dietary changes must be coordinated carefully with medical supervision in such cases. Your body needs time to transition fuel usage safely from glucose dependence to fat utilization. This transition phase may feel uncomfortable, but it is biologically expected. Another lesser-known caution deserves attention, especially for gout-prone individuals. During early sugar withdrawal, uric acid handling shifts temporarily within the kidneys. This can trigger mild gout flares before long-term improvement appears. Hydration and patience are critical during this adaptation window. Now comes the philosophical turning point of this entire experiment. Quitting sugar is not punishment. It is permission for repair. You are not forcing discipline onto your body. You are removing chronic interference and letting intelligence resume control. 30 days is not a diet. It is a biological reset button pressed gently, not violently. So consider this final question with honesty, not fear. Are you trying to control your body? Or finally learning to cooperate with it?